Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We are all George. So in tonight's session, of course, I want to talk about Bitcoin and how it pumped even higher than this morning. And this freight train, this gravy train continues higher. But besides that, I want to show you something else. I want to talk about this big deal, why Coinbase's IPO is actually a big deal, not only for Coinbase, but also for Binance. And I'm going to explain why. Lastly, you guys will get a kick of this. I did hear about this one publication that has basically either caved in or has been spreading FUD like mad on purpose to basically scare everyone else off. So, welcome to today's live stream. There's a lot of good stuff, but I usually have these two, one in the morning and one at night, so make sure you don't miss any of them. Smash it a like, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and subscribe to my Twitter and Facebook. All right, those of you guys that's already here, welcome as always. Night streams are a little bit better, a little bit looser, a little bit more casual, and that's what I like, and I think that's what you guys like too. All right, so let me change my screen here. So looking at Bitcoin, it's at 52,000, and it was actually a little bit higher than that earlier today. It was like 52,800 or something like that, and we just continue to inch higher. I don't know if people have really grasped what's happening here. Paul, thank you. If anyone really thought for a moment where Bitcoin is, it's above $50,000 for a single Bitcoin. To buy 0.1 Bitcoin costs you $5,200 just to buy a tenth of a Bitcoin, when you could have bought a half Bitcoin when Bitcoin was at $10,000, right? So you could see that it is getting expensive, right? It is definitely getting expensive. Those of you guys that bought it early, congratulations. But with that said, where it is now is still very, very, very cheap compared to where it will be by the end of 2021 and going forward, right? So the gravity of the situation now, there's so much weight, man. If you just take a second to think about that Bitcoin is above $52,000, it's wild. It's wild, and things really moved up really quickly. So this morning I talked about this. I think this had a lot to do with it, that Blackrock, the world's largest asset manager with 7 or 8 trillion of assets, declared that they dabbed in Bitcoin. So first of all, they recognize and admit that they bought Bitcoin, right? So that is huge. Doesn't matter about the dollar amount, but you got to figure even 1% of that 7 trillion would equal $70 billion. $70 billion. A lot of these hedge funds and asset manager, what they're doing is putting 1 to 5% of their portfolio in Bitcoin, right? So at a very minimum amount, it's like 1%. But I've heard of numbers where they say like the optimal amount right now, risk to reward ratio is about 2.5%. But even if BlackRock put 1%, which is 70 billion, that is enormous, enormous. This is confirmation that, yeah, everyone is getting involved, right? So obviously this was a big deal. Appreciate the super chat, but I don't know what you're talking about. So this came out this morning. Obviously, this just compounded on everything else, right? Microstrategy, how they were raising more debt to buy Bitcoin. Well, they went from 600 to 690. Now, no, they've changed it. It's going to be 900 million. And I'm sure they changed it because they have so much demand. Michael Saylor knows. Why not? Maybe this 900 million becomes a billion, or becomes 1.2 billion or something like that by the time it closes. We don't know. But what we do know is every single dime of this is going to be used to buy Bitcoin, right? So we know in the near future, once this is done, another 900 million plus is going to be used to buy Bitcoin, right? So this obviously Very, very, very bullish news. So those of you guys that trade stocks, you'll know Microstrategy stocks has been weak. It seems like the short sellers, the bears, they're trying to put pressure on MicroStrategy, so they're trying to keep it down. But Michael Saylor is laughing to the bank. His Bitcoin holdings have made him a billionaire, multi-billion dollars made within the last few months. So he could care less at this point. He knows Bitcoin's gonna go higher. He's gonna buy as much of it as he can right now, and that is exactly what he's doing, right? So Michael Saylor, the new Bitcoin Jesus. So these things contribute, obviously, to Bitcoin's rise today. But here's something else, and I think you guys will enjoy this. So the last few weeks, few months, I've covered this one publication, the Motley Fool. And that's because they're relatively big, relatively known. They have ads everywhere. And they keep posting out FUD articles about Bitcoin. So this one is not too long, about a month ago. But if you go back, there's like endless articles from Motley Fool because they want to sell you their subscription program. They want to tell you that they're geniuses and you don't want to get things like Bitcoin, okay? Because that's just too easy. If it was that easy, then no one would buy their subscription program. Well, look at these articles going back to January 19th. So that was only about a month ago. 3 big flaws in the Bitcoin investment thesis. So, of course, yes, if you invest in Bitcoin, you're a fool. So you got that going. Then you got 3 unstoppable stocks that'll crush Bitcoin in 2021. Oh, really? Oh, really? And this was January 27th. How about this one? The 4 most dangerous Bitcoin stocks. Don't let crypto euphoria get to the best of you. Avoid these bad news stocks like the plague. And I'm wondering if they actually mention, Bitcoin, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is one of them. Oh boy, Riot Blockchain was another one. You know how much Riot Blockchain has gone up within the last month? And same thing with Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. If you listen, and MicroStrategy, if you listen to this guy, you would have lost so much money that it's like, it seems like it's not legal to be posting articles like this. Man, that is insane how much money you would have lost had you listened to this guy. But that's not the end of that. Here's another one. Forget Bitcoin, buy PayPal and Square. Okay, well, these are legitimate companies still. Have they outperformed Bitcoin within the last month? No, they have not. And then look at this one. Forget Bitcoin. These tech stocks are better buy right now. You get my point. Forget Bitcoin. These unstoppable stocks are better buys. Okay? And then 3 cryptocurrencies have crushed Bitcoin over the past 3 months. So, as you can see, they don't like Bitcoin, right? They rather you to buy stocks or avoid Bitcoin stocks, blah, blah, blah. And guess what? They just announced that they have just bought $5 million worth of Bitcoin. This just came out. So you tell me, was this a big, giant FUD campaign by the Motley Fool that they were they were preparing for this? Or they finally caved in because they've been sitting on the sidelines for so long. Had they listened to their audience, they could have invested earlier and turned this $5 million into $50 million had they just invested maybe a year ago or 2 years ago. So I just find this is really funny. This is really funny. They either been running a planned FUD campaign or they just caved in. There's a reason why their logo is a clown hat. Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, so I just want to show you guys. I thought you guys would get a good laugh at this. All right. So last point I want to make, and this relates, trust me, bear with me, this relates to a bigger thing I'm trying to tell you guys. This also came out this morning too. Coinbase is readying for their IPO, and they're getting right now, even before they're ready, they're getting a quote of $77 billion. Okay? That's how much Coinbase is worth, according to whoever does these appraisal kind of things. $77 billion. And this could go as high as $100 billion, if not more. Sometimes IPOs are underpriced, sometimes they're overpriced. I don't know, but Coinbase wants to go direct listing, so really they're just going to sell at this price, which would be about $303 per share, but who knows if this actually gets adjusted. But let's just say it's 80 billion. Let's just round up, right? Now, why is this a big deal? Well, it's a big deal for Coinbase, obviously. Brian Armstrong's going to become really ultra rich. He's going to become a billionaire soon if he's not one already from his early Bitcoin mining and stuff like that. So it's going to make him ultra rich. It's also good for Coinbase, I think, because they're going to get some more money to be able to hire people to actually answer phones and emails and stuff like that. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. This is a big deal for other exchanges because right now it's really, really hard to evaluate what a crypto company is worth, right? You think about it. Crypto market is inflated. We know it's inflated, right? There are projects with no working product, but they're worth tens of billions of dollars, okay? That's just the reality. So how do you rate a crypto company that has really no profits or earnings or metrics to measure user growth, adoption growth, profits per user, all that stuff that they can calculate, right? Now, some projects do have that. Some projects do release information like that, but other projects, you just don't know. You're just guessing at this point. Like you value it versus something else, and you think it's pretty close, and you're guessing, right? But this basically confirms that Coinbase, as large as they are, is worth about $80 billion. There's a set dollar amount that's pinned to them now, right? And Coinbase is one of the largest exchanges in the world, but they're not the largest. They're not. You know who is the largest? Well, I think you guys know, and that's Binance. So now, after this announcement, now it's no wonder that Binance coin started pumping to the moon today. There's many reasons for this, but I think it started to pump even more today is because of this, because people are like, okay, well, Coinbase is worth $77 billion. Well, what is Binance worth? At least $80 billion. But more likely, they're worth $100 billion or $200 billion because they have a lot more presence around the world. They have their own chains. They have a token that is deflationary, right? And they have a whole lot of traction with their DeFi products. So that is why Binance Coin has pumped up today, but there's many reasons why it has been pumping over the last few weeks and even few years. But I think this is going to continue because now people can grasp and pinpoint, well, if Coinbase is worth this much, then Binance should be worth this much. And this will probably branch out even beyond Binance, like Huobi, KuCoin, OKX, all these big exchanges. Now people can actually pinpoint, okay, what should they be worth, right? So that's why this is a big deal. Now we finally have some usable data that we can correlate to, right? Especially for exchanges. Now, these other projects, not so much yet, but maybe one day we'll get there, right? We'll get there. But that's why I think this is a big deal. Coinbase obviously going IPO is a big deal for Coinbase. It's a big deal also for Bitcoin in general and crypto in general because a lot more people go hear about it, more attention and so forth, right? But I think it's an absolutely huge deal for a project like Binance, and it's going to be huge. Now, I already covered Binance Coin, Binance Chain. They have two of them in detail before. I had a video I created, and it did very well. But I want to bring up something else that I haven't shown you guys before that I came across today. And this kind of really sums up why some of their DeFi products are getting so hot. Okay, number one is, let me talk about, Binance has two chains, and it could be, it's a little confusing, but Binance has a Binance chain and then a Binance Smart chain. Binance chain was just created mainly for their DEX. That was really it, because they wanted to have a DEX and they needed a chain where the DEX resides on, and that's it. But then they realized, well, we need a second chain because we want to have that compatibility with Ethereum. So they created Binance chain that has EVM compatibility, which means any Ethereum-based project could port over really, really easy and still utilize the Ethereum virtual machine. That's pretty big. Also, the Binance Smart Chain was created based on Proof of Stake Authority, POSA. And this is the same consensus that Polkadot uses. This was created by Gavin Wood. So they also utilize that to make the Binance chain really, really fast. So what does this mean? Binance Smart Chain is really, really powerful because Ethereum dApp makers can port over very easily, still utilize the Ethereum virtual machine, and move over to a chain that's a lot less congested, a lot faster, a lot cheaper, right? So keep that in mind. There's two chains, but Binance Smart Chain is the one that a lot of DeFi projects is moving into because of the high gas prices, the congestion on Ethereum, right? So that is very, very important. Another thing that's important is the fact that a lot of projects are inflationary. Not that there's a problem with that, but if you have a project that's deflationary, that's even better. A lot of people, they don't know this. They don't know the difference. So one of the bad things people say about Dogecoin is, well, Dogecoin could never go up because it's inflationary. There's 5 billion more Doges every year. Well, what's stopping Ethereum then? Because Ethereum is also inflationary and it's above $218 billion. And you know what? Polkadot is also inflationary and it's at $30 billion. So just because it's inflationary doesn't mean it's bad. As long as you have more users that's coming in, it'll make up for the additional tokens that gets released every year. But here's the thing. Binance Coin is not only not inflationary, there's a set supply. It's also deflationary because they do coin burns. Based on their profits, every quarter, they burn a ton of BNB. And CZ even said it's too slow, so he's going to accelerate the coin burn. So as you can see, that's amazing, right? That's amazing. So you have something that is getting smaller in supply that is the main currency on Binance Smart Chain, Binance Chain, their DEX, their centralized exchanges, and all the DeFi products and everything else they have, right? That adds up to a lot. And the number of BNB keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So right now, I know a lot of people are concentrating on Ethereum, of course, and then also Cardano and Polkadot, right? But keep in mind, Binance Chain, Binance Coin is right behind these two. There's good reason for it, right? And you know what? As hot as Binance is, I think Binance could flip above both in the near future and get to number 4. So that is the reason why Binance Chain, right? Binance Coin, I should say, is going up. There's many advantages. But here's the last thing I want to show you guys. The very last thing. So you know how I showed you guys this before, DeFi Pulse. This is basically tracking how much locked-in value there is on various DeFi projects. Now, I didn't really think about it, but it makes sense. So all these projects that's listed, for the most part, you could see the entire list is basically all on Ethereum. So this one is really just tracking Ethereum DeFi projects. And it has exploded to $41 billion in total locked-in value, which is very, very high. Very, very high. But things have kind of stalled a little bit. Now, it could be a coincidence because Bitcoin is pumping, coincidence because a lot of DeFi projects on Ethereum, like Aave and Compound and Uniswap and SushiSwap, it could be because they were overbought, and that's why things kind of settled down. Or another explanation is that people don't want to trade on Uniswap or borrow on Aave when it costs them like $100 to do any single little thing, right? Congestion and fees are so outrageous that a small timer, if they're trying to just say day trade or borrow or something, it's not even worth it to them anymore, right? So that could also be the reason why things have kind of stalled out a little bit, right? You can see it's pretty linear, except recently it just kind of like took a U for some reason. But here's another site I found called Defi Station, which only looks at the locked-in value of Binance Smart Chain DeFi projects. And this adds up to $7.5 billion. 7.5 billion. That's, that's a considerable amount. That's what, 5 5x smaller than DeFi Pulse in terms of all the projects on Ethereum. So about 1/5, but it's catching up really, really, really fast, right? So it's no wonder that DeFi projects that's on Binance Smart Chain right now is going up because people are turning to them. It's basically near free. Basically, the transactions are very, very low, very, very fast. And that is why they're exploding. So this is an important metric. If we look at this, I'm going to start tracking this in the future. This number could be going up very, very, very fast versus this number, right? Maybe it doesn't, or maybe it does. But this kind of shows you that the projects on the DeFi project on Binance Smart Chain is definitely catching up. And two of the ones that are the biggest, or the two leaders in this space. Number one is PancakeSwap, which I mentioned not too long ago. A lot of you guys thank me for that. PancakeSwap has been going to the moon. It's up like 300 or 400% within the last month or so. Another one I mentioned that has been moving, but not as much, is Venus. Venus is basically the MakerDAO equivalent on Binance Smart Chain. It's a lending company. You could borrow, you could stake and borrow. I think the VI token, right? And utilize that to do whatever you want. And then there's other promising projects. Not a whole lot of them I recognize, but they're all starting to climb. You could see the 24-hour change in terms of how much is locked in is going up and up and up and up, right? I do recognize Spartan Protocol. I covered them recently in Patreon and people have mentioned it. They look like a pretty good project. I mentioned about another AMM like Bakery Swap. They have also done pretty well. They're starting to come up, but there's a whole number in here and they're all starting to come up. So it'd be very, very interesting to see how fast this starts going up versus the Ethereum DeFi projects. And here's another thing. Remember I said about BNB being deflationary, right? And how there's more and more being burned every single quarter. And you can see based on this, there's already 28.5 million BNB locked in. Locked in. That's important because there's just not that many BNB. And you know what? You lock them out and they're getting less in supply. You could see how that is driving things up, right? So CZ created this amazing ecosystem for basically driving BNB coins up. So BNB is definitely not only DeFi projects, but BNB itself is definitely one of my favorite altcoins now, for sure. It was back in the day. I kind of just like ignored it for a little bit, but now that I'm seeing the bigger picture of what's going on, man, CZ built a powerhouse of a token and just whole ecosystem. All right, so that is what I want to share with you in terms of the big deal, right? So I'll turn to you guys for some Q&A. I did miss some super chats. So let me see if I can scroll through a few of them. Tone asks, can you talk about how Robinhood holds 30% of Doge, causing price suppression? They replied today on Twitter. I know that was an accusation by Elon Musk. Whether they hold 30% of Doge is another question, unless they came out today on Twitter and said they own 30%. Nope. Robinhood. So much interest in crypto. To be clear, we fully intend to provide an ability to deposit and withdraw cryptocurrency, including Doge. Robinhood Crypto does not currently invest in cryptocurrency. Yeah, so I don't think it's been confirmed, unless I'm wrong. You guys chime in, but I don't think it's confirmed that they're the big 28% holder of Dogecoin. I think Elon was just saying that, but I don't know if that's actually true. Dean asks about what about VGX? Voyager, it's great. I like Voyager. I like them quite a lot. Now, they are already publicly traded companies, so there is a valuation on them, but their stock actually has been going up faster than their token. So they have a dual token setup, which is different, but I think the reason why the token hasn't gone up more, but I take it back. the token has been going up quite a bit. When I covered them, they were about 70 cents, and now they're at like close to $4. So they have been going up quite a bit. Yeah, 391, right? So that's like, I don't know, 500% gains within a very short amount of time. So yes, it has been doing well. But it could be doing even better because they just had too much influx of people and they couldn't approve everyone at once. Now people are starting to get in, right? There's just not a whole lot of places to buy VGX in the US. So Voyager is also very, very good. And you can see based on their market cap, their tokens alone, they're nearing 1 billion. I don't know what it is with their stock, but yeah, they're doing good. They're doing good. All right, anything else? Let's see if I missed anything. JK asks, where do you see ETH topping out this year? I don't think ETH is topping out anytime this year as long as Bitcoin continues to go up. We're nearing 1.6 trillion, by the way. Bitcoin, I've always said, and I'll never get away from this, Bitcoin is a big dog. All right, there's no doubt about it. It'll never change. Bitcoin is going to carry the market. It's going to carry the market. And while it's being, while it's being like the horse that's pulling the market, it's pulling everything with it. And there's no reason to think that Ethereum is going to top out. When Bitcoin continues up and like Ethereum just dies down now, it's going to keep going up. And let's not forget, Ethereum is the big dog of the networks, the decentralized networks, the protocol. It's the big dog. That's why it's over $200 billion, right? You don't get to $200 billion just by not having a ton of traction, network, what do you call it? The network activity? That's not the term. Network something. The network, shoot, I just heard someone say it and I forgot what it was. But you get what I'm saying, right? They have a big community base. They have a lot of traction. DeFi is primarily run on Ethereum. Same thing with NFTs. The IEOs, ICOs that still come out is all on Ethereum. They're the big dog. They're the big dog. So I don't think they're topping out this year. Now, I know that a lot of people told me that BitBoy was going to uncover, why Ethereum was being suppressed. I watched this video, and there wasn't, to be frank, there wasn't any concrete proof. Not like F2 Pool, where you could clearly see a large sell of Bitcoin, right? He did make the association that Ethereum was being held down, possibly by F2 Pool or others, or even like Grayscale or others, because they simply want to buy a ton of it. There's a lot of institutions that is very interested in Ethereum. So this could be the turning point before it really skyrockets, that they're causing price suppression or FUD to try to buy as much as possible. That makes a whole lot of sense. Bitcoin has been like that for a long time, where you see a lot of bad actors cause FUD, try to keep things low, just like Motley Fool I showed you guys, right? So it's very plausible that it's the same thing is being done with Ethereum, but there's no like actual concrete proof or chart or something that shows that this is definitely being done, right? But yeah, I think Ethereum is fine. I think Ethereum is fine. Ben asks, I read the vaults for Yearn are built by Idle. I've noticed Synthetic Ren and Curve follow their Twitter. Does it make it better? No. Just because they follow doesn't mean it's better. I honestly, I don't know who Idle is. If they're let's see. Is it Idle Finance? The CEO looks like he founded Idle during a hackathon. But just because the other projects follow this project doesn't mean that this project is good. It could be they're just following each other. So I don't know. I don't know how you came up with that association. Ocean and Unistake. I think I looked at them. I wasn't too pleased or too impressed with either one. Decentralized token protocol built to empower DeFi projects. Okay. Yeah, it's like 100 other projects. So I know right now a lot of people is looking for the next DeFi to like get into before it pumps, right? But there's a ton of DeFi projects. Just because it's a low cap at 20 million doesn't mean it's a good buy, right? So I get asked a lot in my Q&A. I look at a lot of them. I don't get impressed with a lot of them. They could get lucky and get pumped up, but a lot of them just look like, you know, just like any other project that's in this space. Ocean I have heard of before. Ocean Protocol is a blockchain-based ecosystem that allows individuals and businesses to easily unlock the value of their data and monetize it through ERC-based data tokens. Publishers can monetize their data while preserving privacy control. So they're creating a data marketplace. Is that what they're doing? Yeah, owners and consumers use data Ocean market cap to publish, discover, and consume data assets, secure, private, preserving. Okay. Ocean holders stake liquidity to data pools. So developers use Ocean Library to build their own data wallets, exchanges, and more. So Ocean Data turns data into data assets. So they're tokenizing data and creating a DeFi of data, it looks like, which is really, really strange. Really strange. I don't even quite grasp that. I know there's places that sell data, like a data marketplace, but this seems like it's tokenizing data, and then you can put that in liquidity pools, and then you could also put that in wallets, and you can exchange it. It's a little wild. It's a little wild. Data marketplace with blockchain superpowers. Yeah, publish data, stake on data, and buy data. Yeah, so that's like the data marketplace. But data is published as interoperable ERC20 token data tokens. Yeah, so they're like taking data and tokenizing it. Okay, interesting. So it's same concept, but they're tokenizing it. Well, that's unique. That's unique. So I'll say it's pretty unique. Pretty unique. I have to look more into it. I'll have to look more into it. Yeah, network effect. That's it. I was scrolling. I'm glad that you guys came up with that. So I'll mention something that I'm not gonna steal because I heard Box Mining say this yesterday. I tuned in his live stream like 5 minutes before he ended, and he was talking about network effect of Ethereum, and he was actually making fun of Charles Hoskinson, which I don't hear many people say this, but I guess Charles during one of his YouTube said that, you know, network effect means nothing. Cardano will take over Ethereum, right? But Box Mining said, you know, that's nonsense. Network effect, basically traction, is very, very important. That's why big tech companies like Facebook buy out like other apps or try to buy out other apps, because it's very, very hard to get that network effect, right? You could create your own thing. Doesn't mean that if you create the next Facebook, doesn't mean that you're going to overtake Facebook, because they have the network effect. Same thing like other social media apps like TikTok or Instagram or Snapchat, right? So the network effect is real, and Ethereum definitely has that network effect, which is why they're so high. So thank you for bringing that up. So I think that's actually pretty intelligent to think about it that way. I can't comment on Frontier. I just know that I think BitBoy said it. You know, I know it pumped up. I did not look into that project, so I can't comment on it. What else is there? There's a couple big super chats I missed. First one, Bash says, thank you for Pancake. You're welcome. And then the next one, Jay, please look into XDAI chain, Ethereum Dash moving there. by the dozen, and a project event in the top 250. You know, I think I did look at them recently. I don't know how, but I think I did look at them. Or maybe you asked me to look at them. POA Network launched their first ever blockchain. Okay. Combines POA's network interoperability knowledge and technology with MakerDAO's died. Okay. So it's a side chain. It's a stable coin for a side chain to Ethereum. Yes, I think you did ask me to look at this the other day. So POA network is just like a layer 2 solution for Ethereum. So this is the stable coin that resides on that layer 2 solution. Yeah, I remember POA from a very, very long time ago. How could the network be worth less than the stable coin that runs on a network? How does that make sense? I don't know how that makes sense, but okay. Ethereum dApps moving there by the dozen, and project event is okay. I'll take your word for it, but I don't hear about a lot of big Ethereum dApps moving there. A lot of big Ethereum dApps are moving to Polkadot. They're moving to Binance Chain. They're moving to Solana. You know, they're moving to a lot of these. Tezos. I don't hear anyone saying they're moving to POA network, to be quite honest. Jerry, what's up? Green Room, what's up? Hopefully, I'll be able to meet you guys at the Vegas party. I know a lot of you guys are stinky rich now, so you'll be able to afford airfare, but still trying to plan out Vegas. Very hard to. There's a few guys that reached out that said they were planners and they're trying to plan things, but I haven't heard much. But if there's more people that want to help, if you're an event planner, you have connections in Vegas, you know, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you, George at CryptosRUs.com. Celsius Network, I like. They're equivalent to Aave. Lending project, staking project. A lot of people utilize them. Good leader. I like Celsius. Stake is a stable coin. XDAI uses a stable coin to pay for their fees. Okay. I don't know. Maybe Jay, I guess maybe I just don't understand enough, but I don't know why you're so passionate about it. I'm guessing you're a big pack holder, but yeah, I'll write that down. I'll take a look at it. But still, I don't like the fact that POA is pretty much a dead project. So why would they come out with another token? I live in Vegas, third man crypto. Well, good for you. A lot of people, I think, do, right? Jason. Hellcat, just think about this, right? I know a lot of people think that, oh, you know, as Bitcoin goes up, I got to worry about my security. But think about how many rich people out there that's much richer than you are, and they're not worried. So just don't worry about it. I can't imagine if you were like someone like Elon, someone that's very recognizable, and someone that's ultra rich, just walking around without bodyguards and stuff. You know, I don't know how those guys do it. DC, I like GRT a lot. I think the graph is going to continue higher. It's one of those unique projects that is necessary in the space. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, Joshua and others that are, you know, I addressed this, that BitBoy did a video, you know, saying that possibly F2 Pool or possibly others are price suppressing Ethereum. I looked at it. There's a connection, but it's not real concrete proof. So I did start looking into it to see if I could find more. I haven't found anything. It makes sense that the big dogs will want to suppress Ethereum as much as they can to buy more because there is institutional adoption coming, right? So that could be the case, but there's not like a definitive chart or proof or something that really shows it. However, with that said, Ethereum is pumping. It's up 8% today, and it's at 1900. So is there really price suppression? I don't know. Ethereum is at where it is because they have the network effect. They're the big dog in the protocol space. And there's a lot of institutional investors like Grayscale and others that are getting involved. So I don't think there's anything to worry about with Ethereum. It's doing quite fine. Just because there's some projects, sometimes they stall a little bit, doesn't mean that there's something wrong, right? Like, for example, Cardano pumped up quite a bit, and then it kind of stalled out for a week because it pumped up quite a bit. That's why it needs to stall out. Doesn't mean that there's actually something wrong with it. Sometimes it just happens like that. All right, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. Overall, I think we're in a really, really good spot. Really good spot. Bitcoin is above $52,000, right? Blackrock confirmed that they bought Bitcoin, which is huge. MicroStrategies go buy another $900 million worth of Bitcoin. That's huge. And I can't wait to see which next big tech company is it Oracle, Apple, Amazon that's going to get involved with Bitcoin. It's just a nonstop train at this point, right? But the second thing I wanted to address is that this Coinbase IPO is huge, specifically for exchanges, specifically for Binance, because this is giving a price target on one of the biggest exchanges out there, and now people can correlate what other exchanges are worth, and I think this is going to be huge. And part of the reason why Binance is going up, not only is it due to this, is because of the Binance Smart Chain, their whole token economy. There's a whole lot of other stuff that's going for Binance. So you definitely don't want to sleep on BNB or any of the DeFi projects that's on Binance Smart Chain. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Facebook and Twitter so you don't miss out on any of my streams. Also, check out my Patreon page and my Teachable page. All right, take care, guys. Bye-bye.